Here is something nobody told you. The average 16-year-old in 1995 could save up $10,000 by the time they graduated high school working a part-time job at a grocery store. Minimum wage, 20 hours a week, 2 years. Done. That same path today. With today's minimum wage, today's inflation, today's rent prices bleeding into every household budget. You would get there eventually. But eventually is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence. The game changed. The rules didn't update with it. So if I were 16 right now, sitting in a bedroom somewhere with no credit history, no connections, no inheritance, and maybe $200 in a drawer, I would not do what my parents did. I would not do what most personal finance content tells you to do either. I would do something that actually fits the moment we're in. This is how. Let's get something out of the way first. This is not about dropshipping. It is not about crypto. It is not about some teenager who went viral selling handmade bracelets and turned it into a 7-figure empire. Those stories exist. They are real. They are also statistically about as useful to you as a lottery ticket. What this is about is a repeatable path. One that requires no luck, no unusual talent, and no startup capital. Just a clear understanding of where money actually moves in the economy, and how a 16-year-old can position themselves at one of those intersections. Here is the reality of being young right now. You have something that is genuinely rare. Not enthusiasm. Not potential. Time. And not time in the motivational poster sense. Time in the compound interest, skill acquisition, zero overhead sense. You have no mortgage. No dependence. No sunk cost of an existing career. You are the most flexible economic unit in the entire labor market, and almost no one is taking advantage of that. The first $10,000 is not about the money. It is about building the infrastructure that generates money. And most people never separate those two things. So here is how I would actually do it. Step by step. No abstraction. Step 1. Identify a skill that businesses will pay for, that can be learned in under 90 days, and that does not require a degree or license. I am not being vague. There is a short list. Video editing. Copywriting. Paid ads management. Web design with no-code tools. Cold outreach and lead generation. These are not glamorous. But every single one of them has a market, a clear learning path, and a ceiling that starts at around $1,500 a month and climbs from there. Pick one. Not two. 1. Step 2. Spend 60 days learning it with obsessive focus. Not casually. Not one YouTube video a day. Real focused deliberate practice. Build 3 to 5 samples. They do not have to be paid work. They have to be good work. Step 3. Find your first client. Not on Fiverr. Not on Upwork initially. Direct outreach to small local businesses. Restaurants. Gyms. Real estate agents. Accountants. These people need marketing help, they know they need it, and they have almost no relationship with any provider. You are not competing with agencies. You are the option they can actually afford. Charge $300 for your first project. Yes, $300. This is not about maximizing price. This is about getting a testimonial, a case study, and proof that you can close a sale. That first $300 is not the goal. It is the unlock. Step 4. Raise your rate after every 2 clients. $300 becomes $500. $500 becomes $750. You are not pulling these numbers from confidence. You are pulling them from results. Before you hit the 6-month mark, you are targeting $1,500 to $2,000 per client per month on a retainer. Do the math. 3 clients at $1,500 is $4,500 a month. That is $54,000 a year. You are 16. You have no expenses. In roughly 4 to 5 months of actual execution, you pass $10,000 earned. That is the mechanical path. Now here is the part no one says out loud. Most people who hear this plan will not do it. Not because it is too hard. Because it is too slow at the start and too uncomfortable in the middle. The first 60 days feel like nothing is happening. You are learning a skill. You are building samples. You have made $0. Every hour you spend feels like a bet on your future self, which is the hardest kind of bet to make when you are 16 and want money now. This is where the traditional path wins on emotion even as it loses on math. A part-time job pays you immediately. Minimum wage feels like certainty. The skill-building path feels like a maybe. And the human brain, at any age, is deeply biased towards certain small rewards over probable large ones. It is not weakness. It is wiring. But here is what the traditional path actually costs you. At minimum wage, working 20 hours a week, you make roughly $8,000 to $9,000 a year before any deductions. Respectable. But your ceiling is the ceiling. There is no leverage. No compounding. No asset being built. You are trading time for a fixed rate with no upside. The skill path trades the same hours for a different architecture. You are building something that can scale. One more client does not mean one more job application. It means one conversation. At 16, the only thing more valuable than money is a scalable income mechanism that you own. The $10,000 is proof that the mechanism works. After that, the question becomes how wide you want to open the valve. Now let's be honest about what the internet will tell you instead. Sell digital products. Build a personal brand. Start a faceless YouTube channel. Invest in index funds. All of this advice is either slow, oversaturated, passive income fantasy, or all three. Index fund advice especially. Look. Long-term index investing is rational and important. If you have $500, absolutely put it in an index fund. But the advice to invest your way to $10,000 starting from zero at 16 is just math that does not work. You would need nearly a decade at average market returns to get there passively. Nobody is telling you that. Passive income is the most aggressively marketed lie in the personal finance space. It exists. It is real. But it requires active capital or active work first. It is the destination, not the vehicle. Digital products. Competitive. Slow to build an audience. High skill floor if you want to sell something worth buying. Dropshipping. You are entering a race against people with established ad accounts, supplier relationships, and capital to absorb months of unprofitable testing. You can compete. But you can compete is not a strategy. The skill-based service model wins at this age because it has the lowest barrier, the highest immediate income ceiling, and it builds something real. An understanding of business, of client management, of value delivery. That understanding compounds just like money does. Here is the thing that makes this conversation slightly more urgent than it sounds. We are in an economic moment where the traditional stepping stones are getting further apart. College costs more. Entry-level jobs increasingly ask for experience that takes years to accumulate. The first decade of someone's career used to be the earning acceleration phase. Now it is the recovery phase. Student loans. Entry wages that have not kept up with cost of living. A housing market that looks like a closed door to anyone without generational wealth behind them. None of that is hopeless. But it means the old map is wrong, and using a wrong map confidently is more dangerous than having no map at all. A 16-year-old who builds even one real skill, closes even one real client, and earns even one real dollar from their own effort has done something that most adults around them have never done. Not because they lack intelligence. Because the system they were born into never showed them the door existed. There is also this. The skills I am describing are AI resistant in the near term because they require human judgment, relationship, and context. Video editing automation is improving. But understanding what a local business owner actually needs from their marketing, and communicating that back to them in a way that builds trust, that is not a prompt. That is still a person. For now. So. Back to the bedroom. The $200 in the drawer. If I were 16 today, I would spend the next 60 days learning one skill that businesses need. I would spend the following 30 days finding someone to pay me for it. I would do the work well enough that they told someone else. And I would repeat that until the number cleared $10,000. Not because $10,000 changes your life. It does not. Spend it wrong and it disappears in weeks. But because the process of earning $10,000 through your own leverage, on your own timeline, by solving a real problem for a real person, that rewires something. It shows you exactly how value and money are connected, in a way that no class, no book, and honestly no YouTube video can fully replicate. The money is evidence. Evidence that you understand how the exchange works. And once you understand the exchange, the only remaining question is how many times you are willing to repeat it. That question, nobody can answer for you.